We are the American Red Devils, and we are recapping Manchester United's 1-1 draw against Bournemouth. The Cherries on the South Coast. United went full strength before the big game next week in Bilbao, sir. But United, what do you expect from this side? Make a bit of a meal of it. Go down pretty early. First shot for them on the target, and then United get back into the game. Bournemouth get a player sent off, and United push late, and Rasmus Højlund, of all people, get a scrappy goal to get a point and avoid the loss, more importantly. But frustrating, not what United wanted in advance of the big match. We're hoping to get some rest. A lot of players seem to have played more minutes than they should have. How are we feeling coming out of this draw against the Cherries over the weekend?
I'm not concerned about the draw at all. I'm concerned the manager said, hey, the league's going to suffer. All priority is on Europe, and he plays the strongest 11 we have. Bruno goes 100 minutes. We got a game on Thursday. It's away. We're already down in the South Coast. We got to come back to Manchester. We got to go to Spain. Bold call from the manager. I don't necessarily love it. I'd like to see a little more rest. I'd like to see rest for Bruno. I'd like to see rest for Garnacho. I'd like to see rest for probably Dogu. There's a lot of players that you could pick out. Maguire didn't need to go that many minutes. And when you have over 100 million on the line in Bilbao, and like obviously the league is what it is at this point, Sir Jim is in the stands. Is he the one pushing on the manager to make these moves to win at all costs in the league? Like, is the manager just such a hardo? He doesn't think the players deserve a break. Those comments, again, don't add up to me. I'm just a little concerned about going 100 minutes on the South Coast and then going to Bilbao. Like, why would we do that? We did it. Now let's hope we win away in Spain.
Now we can't undo it. No, it was a tough physical battle on the South Coast. It wasn't just 100 minutes. There, tackles were flying from the first go. A couple players, obviously a player got sent off. Player could have gotten sent off in the first half from Bournemouth. There were a lot of yellows, and United, like you said, put in a position where they didn't think they needed to win this game. They didn't think they could get a result, but I think the manager got sucked into it and was just like, he didn't want to lose. He has the boss man breathing down his neck. You think Jim Ratcliffe wants to be in Bournemouth? You think he wants to be there? He's usually there for London games. So I think he's feeling the pressure.
He took the chopper.
No doubt. He took the chopper from Monaco. He's feeling the pressure. United's feeling the pressure, but I have to agree with you. It's like they should have been more rotation. Like we saw in the last league game, that had a fair amount of rotation. Eriksson getting to start, Amos, Fredrickson, none of those players kind of featured the way you would think they would have. So I'm a little concerned because it's all about Thursday. It's all about the trip to Bilbao. That's going to be tough enough as is. I mean, look at our record against Spanish clubs in Europe. It's not good. This isn't going to help.
Quick PSA for the podcast. You like the American Devils, please check us out on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, please like and subscribe. If you're listening on iTunes or Spotify, head over to YouTube, search American Red Devils. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, like and comment. Help us get the Muppet Take to other diehard Manchester United fans. You want to go the extra mile? Check out our Patreon page, patreon.com/American Red Devils. Do an extra special behind-the-scenes podcast every single month. Please check it out. Tons of other benefits. Support us with over 100 patrons. Also, check out our merch, our store. We got blankets, hoodies, shirts, stickers, scarves. We got it all to support the greatest club in all the land, americanreddevils.store. Check it out, americanreddevils.com. Great blog content, talking new signings, talking summer transfer news. Get it all at americanreddevils.com. Sir, tell us about iTunes reviews.
iTunes reviews and 5-star reviews of the American Devils podcast. Wherever you listen, it's a great way to support the pod. It helps us get found organically by other top Muppets like yourself. And we're giving away free merch. All you have to do is write a 5-star review on iTunes or Spotify and send a screenshot of the review to americandevils@gmail.com with your mailing address. And I'll personally pick back and ship some free ARD gear. Send it right to your door anywhere in the world. Let's get into that match. It was Bournemouth 1, United 1, South Coast.
There was a red card. It got frisky. It got chippy down at Vitality Stadium, sir. Let's break it down. All right. Amorim came out strong. Onana in net. Luke Shaw, Maguire, Lenny. Back line. Dogu, Casemiro, Menu, Mazraoui, right wing back. Bruno, Garnacho, Højlund up top. What do you make of this 11?
I mean, I was shocked, to be honest. This is basically what I would expect on Thursday against Athletic Bilbao in Spain. So I think this is one of the strongest 11s we could put together, especially now with Delo. Delo is injured, especially for the Bilbao tie, but even maybe for the rest of the season. So I was a little surprised that he went so guns blazing, unless he made some intention to swap at halftime, but that's not what our manager does. So Curious decisions from our Portuguese Magnifico. What were you thinking when you saw this 11?
It did make sense to me. And again, you have to kind of read the tea leaves on this one, where he literally said our league form is going to suffer. We are going all in on Europe. This is not that. And then you see Sir Jim in the stands. So what is really I'm going kind of a little X-Files conspiracy theory here, but seeing those two things doesn't add up to me. Maybe the manager's playing for his job. Maybe these last games matter for his status at the club.
Jesus.
He looked like it, If you're looking at these two fixtures, United cannot be relegated, and you have Bilbao on Thursday. You do not play this 11, and you do not play Bruno as long as you did, unless you are thinking you have to win. Why? We're not getting Europe out of the league, so why would you push Bruno into the 100th minute here? It didn't make sense to me. It doesn't add up. Sir Jim, the decisions Ineos have made doesn't add up. And to see him at this game is also strange. And then all of a sudden we have a really strong 11 and we're going for it to the end. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Why is he there in the first place? That's also weird. We're in the 14th place. Season's kind of a foregone conclusion at this point. Why is Jim Ratcliffe at this game? It's not in London. It's not even in Manchester.
Pressure's
the whole thing,
on.
Pressure's on. And United kind of felt that pressure early. Bournemouth worked really hard from the gates. Let's get in that first half, on and off the ball. United, the game itself was pretty compact, but the Cherries showed the hustle. I think that was the difference maker really in that first half, is they were willing to outwork United, and they got a really big chance. Big on that board.
The fire rises.
Dude, they were flying into tackles. I feel the ref was losing hell to this game pretty early, but they had a big chance, probably their biggest chance other than the goal in that first half. 4th minute, dangerous ball from the wing came in, curling effort, no one's there. Evanilson couldn't get the end of it, but this arguably should have been a goal, and they were showing their attacking intent early. 17th minute, Garnacho forced the keeper into a good save. He was dangerous throughout. He was our most attacking threat for this match. And then 21st minute, there was a red card shout on Adams, dangerous challenge. He doesn't really connect, but his boots are up. You didn't think there was anything in this, but there was a lot of just really frisky tackles in this game. I haven't seen a game like this.
Bournemouth's coming out swinging. I like
coming
it.
out.
That's a team. I like my team putting in challenges like this. Look, he got all ball here. It's definitely aggressive, 50-50. Somebody could get hurt, but I like to see the game played at that level. Shout out to the American Tyler Adams. And then, it was a little back and forth. We had our opportunities. Bournemouth were pressing us pretty high. And as part of that press, sir, they would get their goal.
Here's Smith towards Evanilson. Oh, what a hit by Semenyo. He's at it again. 2-footed. And they were caught. Not picking him up.
Playing out the back. This manager, it's his thing. It was the prior manager's thing. Onana's brought in to do it. This system, all over us. Bilbao, here's the playbook. Press United high. We're going to, wet noodle it, and then you can score.
Yeah, hopefully they're not as good as Bournemouth. United creating their own problems, giving the ball away, getting caught out in dangerous positions in their own half. And then we've seen this before. When there is danger, nobody sniffs it out. And it's a good finish. It's also, this is like the tour of players who are being scouted to potentially join United, and they're all showing off. Cunha, every time he plays against United, he fucking tears us apart. And Semenyo having a great goal, just like a thunder goal.
Sign him up.
So sign him up. Everyone who plays against us shines. There was a really good chance near the end of the first half for Garnacho. Like I said, he was dangerous throughout this game. He forced Kepa into a really great save after a nice floated ball from Bruno. He probably should score, but to be fair, a lot to do. But that was the half, sir. Going into halftime, we were both saying, okay,
take him off.
Okay, we get it. We get it, man. But you got to make some subs, and those subs did not.
Yeah, Bruno off, Maguire off, Garnacho off. You got to make some serious rotation here. We need rest. Thursday's looming. Nope, we're going for the win here. Coming out, no changes. Couldn't believe it. 46th minute, another dangerous curler in the box leads to a big chance for Bournemouth. 61st minute, Bournemouth hit the woodwork off a free kick. Another great opportunity to them. Again, United players out there. What are they doing? Just getting tired for Bilbao, the only game that matters. And I'm just okay, Bournemouth are probably better than us in the league.
Definitely.
We get it, and it wasn't really until the 65th minute when he made the subs, Mount, Lindelof, Ugarte for Manu, Maguire, Casemiro. I like this, but hey, Bruno probably needs some rest as well. And then the 71st minute, this is where the Evanilson red card, the wild challenge, They would get the red card. This would be benefit to United, obviously, with Bournemouth going down to 10. But, it doesn't really matter this game. Whether we draw, whether we lose.
Still breaking it down.
No, but I'm just why do I have this view, but the coach of Manchester United does? I don't understand.
He's a hard.
It's really irrational. I'm just like, okay, we get the red card.
I think
Bruno come off.
Yeah.
Why is Bruno still on the field? We really need this point. Put on Ericsson. We could have. So 75th minute, Cheeto for Maz. Cheeto looks great.
He does.
Coming on. That's a great. This is exactly who should be in this game. And he came on. He looked great. Size, pace, raw talent. But these are the players that should be out there. Amos should be out there. Why not? I'm just generally confused with this whole game.
I would agree. Players, that's the whole point. I thought that was the reason we bled out Amos and Fredrickson a week ago. Shows that they can do it at EPL. Play them this weekend and give the players need a rest, especially in the wingback position. We only have 2 fit players left. I guess 3 if you include Shaw. But you're super thin to begin with. So we did create chances once they got their red card, as you would hope. But like you said, we shouldn't even be fighting for this point. But we did. We kept fighting, so we kept pushing.
Good chances. Mount had a good chance at 89th. Ericsson comes on for Dogu. At 96th minute, our boy Højlund gets his goal. Scrappy finisher. Let's go.
Mount's cross. Savani's header's not a decisive clearance. Fernandez setting up Shaw to fire it across. And it's in. Ugarte forwarded it forward, and Højlund may well have got the final touch. The player who hasn't poached many a goal for Manchester United has got a vital one.
Look, Højlund needed that. Game would end in a draw, 1-1. Great finish. This is exactly the type of goals we expect him to score. He got it. It's great. It's what he needs going into Thursday.
That's it. Let's have an impact on Thursday because you should have scored a lot more of these goals. I appreciate it. I like not losing. I do think that will help just because there's enough negativity at the club. I am in 100% agreement that we played too many lads, too many minutes, and acted like this was the big game when I'm genuinely fearful of what could happen on Thursday. But Højlund needs a goal, and this is a good goal to get. And on we go. And it's all about Thursday, so let's get into those stats.
Stats, United dominated. Obviously, the red card, huge factor here. 25 shots to Bournemouth's 8, 6 on target to their 1, 62% of the ball. So we cooked them. Pass accuracy, 82%. Shouldn't shake your head at that. But United still...
Where are we at?
14th in the table. Remember, it's just a draw. We don't have 1 win in the league in our last 5. That's what we're getting playing all these players. Our season comes down to 2 matches.
That's it.
One of them is away in Spain. By the way, not an easy place to go. History with Spain, not great.
Not good.
These players, tired. We've had tons of injuries. They're just playing twice a week, every week. They're not getting any rest. You think of a Dogu, what would he look like with rest? Rapid. Bruno, give that guy some rest. He hasn't rested in years. Right, international break. He's going and playing 2-3 games for Portugal.
Traveling.
Bruno playing for 45. Give him what is going on here? These players with rest will look much better in Spain, at least in the first half. I mean, Jesus Christ. I'm like, this is Matt. We literally played all these players, and what it got us was what? 14th?
A point.
And you look at the last 5, it got us a draw. I mean, it's, to me, let's listen to the man. Let's hear what he has to say because it's not adding up for me.
Significant due place and result in the way the players kept going to the end.
It was a tough game. The start of the game was hard for us. High pressure from the opponent. We lose some possessions in our build up, and the goal is like that. And if you look at our games, it's always a little bit our fault the way we suffer goals, and then everything is so much harder to do. But if you look at the game, especially second half, and especially with the sent-off, we arrange ways to get inside the box, and that is something that we are improving. We create chances. We managed to score 1, but I feel that we lost 2 points today.
You mentioned ways to get into on the formations. There was a lot of conversation with you and the players. Was that because they weren't quite sure exactly where to go on the pitch?
When?
After the substitutions towards the end of the game, you and Rasmus, you and Bruno, lots of communication.
Yeah, well, it's just it was just to adapt, and you can see it that we change a lot of players in positions that they never played. So it was just a way to not a tactical aspect, but just to also to understand the players that it will have extra time. So if you suffer a goal in transition, you lose your head. You have more 10 minutes. But if if they score one goal in transition, 1-against-1.
I mean, like, here we go. You lose against Bilbao, people are gonna get the pitchfork. It doesn't matter. Like this is just.
I'll make one prediction. He will not be doing the same thing a week from now. We have another game in between the two legs. I guarantee it. Like, it doesn't go well in Spain. He's gonna
hardo bullshit.
He's a hardo. He's a hardo, dude.
There's only here's the real rub. We talked about watching the game. There's only two reasons you play an 11 that strong. Either Sir Jim's basically saying you have to do it because I'm evaluating your job these last games. Like, by no means are you safe, and I'm evaluating your job, and you have to try to win every single game. That's the only reason he would do it. Or he is just playing some hardo bullshit, mean mugging with the players where he's like, you guys aren't good enough for a rest. Either of those reasons are not great reasons.
Not great reasons.
Those are not good reasons. Like, come on. Like, those are just like, those are the only two like valid reasons for that. And they're irrational and like short-sighted and not going to help this team win the Europa League, which is what we desperately need to do. And what I'm slowly sort of like coming up, like trying to walk myself off the ledge of just like the realization that we're just going to get shit on by another Spanish side.
Probably.
And just get dumped out of Europe again.
Definitely. I mean, I think people are underestimating. I think even myself, I underestimated how much of a hardo Ruben Amorim is. There was a very telling piece of, entertainment content that came out over the week during one of his fucking training sessions, and they showed it. And I was just watching it the other night, just bored with the kids after they went to bed, and it was him, like, they didn't have any of the audio, but it was him just like telling the crew like all these instructions during training, and like, this guy is, and he was basically just yelling at them for 10 minutes straight. He's incredibly hard. I think he's harder than the last guy. The last guy was like beyond a hard.
Yes,
so
yes.
Even his kind of like warm demeanor, you could tell he gets along with players well. I think he's harder than we even imagined. So there might be an element of both. I do think so. I think Ratcliffe is breathing down his neck. I think he knows Ratcliffe is trigger happy, and he's just worried about like, he hasn't even gotten a chance to like settle into the job yet. Just like he needs to basically we need to survive in the summer. And I think obviously it's all about Thursday night, but he put a big target on his back.
He's had quite a few games, and we have not done well in those games.
He needs a summer.
I understand, but I am also like, if I was a manager, you'd hope to get some like rah shit out of him. You'd hope to have like some razzle dazzle of the system by now, and so there's just not a lot of like Ruben Amorim needs a summer. I agree, but there's not a lot to hold your hat on as a United fan. You look at our league form, and it's like, it's worse than when Ten Hag came in. Arguably, the reason we're not getting relegated is because of Ten Hag, and he got fired for that form. So it's like, I understand we can write it off completely, but it doesn't help the cause. It doesn't help the cause. There are genuine questions about the system, because you're like, these players are not that bad. Like overall, like our talent can, like, Bournemouth is much better organized, and they work much harder than us, and our talent can almost win against that, right? And so some manager has to be able to get us looking and working like a team like Bournemouth, who are 8th in the league, and he's had quite a long time to do that, and we really don't see it even today. And so with the Europa League being such a huge task, we have a chance. Our talent can get us through that, and to get to the final of the Europa League would be an incredible success for how horrible the league has been. So
the fact that we're even where we are, the fact that we're in the semifinal in the first place is kind of a fucking miracle, and just speaks to the fact that you imagine where we'd be if we got crashed out of Europe weeks ago, a month ago, even before the knockouts. So thank goodness we have that, because we've been in seasons where you're waiting for that dead cat bounce, or you're basically waiting for the season to end, right? Rangnick year, that was a rough year. Parts of last year, we kind of had this element too. We were terrible. We were terrible in the league.
Fired.
Of course he should have, and the Europa League saved him. No, the FA Cup saved him.
But it's like, Amorim, new guy coming in. You need to see more. Like, you should see more than what we've seen. You should. Like you don't need to.
These players are not any good. That's also the case.
You don't need to, right? But you should. Like if Amorim wrote it up, you would be like, not great, but it's just not great at all. You know, like there'd be something.
Europa League. I mean, you're in the semifinals of Europa League. That's something.
Yep.
That's all. If we didn't have that, we'd be like bleak, all looking to just like wait for the season to end. So at this point, let's just focus on the Europa League. But I have to agree is that today we didn't do ourselves any favor by like running the lads in the ground.
But that was the strongest. Like and also getting back to that, if you're the manager and you rotate and then you lose to Bournemouth, you're like, hey, we're focused on Thursday.
Thank God we didn't lose. You're
Yeah.
right though. You have justification for like
you're
drop
playing mind
performance.
games as a manager. Like, hey, call me Ruben Amorim. I'll tell you how to do it.
I think Radcliffe is breathing down his fucking.
No, I think
the fact that he
that's
was
the
there.
only thing that makes sense to me because a manager would rotate and then he would lose this game and he would say, you know what, we had to rotate because we have a big game on Thursday.
It's Radcliffe.
And then like.
Why was he at Bournemouth? Why was he there?
Not look happy.
No, he did not. With Omar Barada like pissing his pants.
Omar Barada did not look like anyone hanging around Radcliffe does not look like they're having fun.
No, it's true.
No one's having fun.
No, they're waiting to lose their job.
At D_Cole18, quote, fair play to Højlund getting his goal and rescuing a point against the terrifying Cherries. Still not good enough for this team's level. No need to bitch and moan anymore about the Premier League. It's all on Thursday and the Europa League going forward. Here's hoping we steal another result. At MMabaugh13, draw doesn't seem earned, even against 10 men who were woeful in the final third shot. Wingback looked decent at times, put in some good crosses, though thought Mount looked okay as well. A massive match coming up next. At Randy Scrandiel, fair play for finding a way to score. Genuinely didn't expect it. Good for confidence for Thursday. Up to them not to mess it up. Yeah, exactly. So
there you go.
I think a few good points here. Like I thought Mount looks good. Me, I like to see more minutes from Mount. Like, like a start from Mount. 60 minutes from Mount. I just feel like we should have seen a few different players, like a little more in this game. And I think we're even like signaling to Bilbao who we're going to play. I feel like that 11 today is who's going to play.
Oh, yeah. That's the 11.
Other than Ugarte. I think Ugarte's coming in.
You think so? For Cass?
Either for that would be a baller call, but I think he'd be if he gets scared, it's Ugarte Casemiro.
Yeah,
if he's scared, I'd play more conservative away.
Oh yeah. Go for the draw.
Exactly. At Timo United, how this team has made it to the Europa League semis, simply through it being a weak competition, and I think that's true.
It has to be, right? I mean, look, Spurs are there, and they're below us in the table.
We're playing Bournemouth,
yeah,
and then you're going to see Bilbao. Bilbao will be like close to that level, but not quite. They're not going to have.
They won't be as good.
I feel like there's just the power and the pace that Bournemouth did kind of falter at some points because they couldn't keep it up, but the intensity was so high, and I feel like if you can go 30 minutes like that, you can almost break a team, and that's what I don't think Spanish teams can do that.
The physicality, we saw a little bit with Lyon, but they don't have the physicality like that in Bilbao. Like the Basques, they're very good. They're very technical. They have plenty of ways they can beat us, but Bournemouth is a totally different animal. So, oh God, I'm nervous. I am nervous.
Sir, make no mistake about it. The guillotine is going to fall on your neck, and the Europa League is going to be over. And most likely, it's going to be over in some humiliating fashion against a Spanish side, as we've seen 13 times since the year 2000. Our Europe campaigns have been ended by Spanish sides.
It's an incredible record. It's an incredible record against Spaniards.
That is it. That is the podcast. Thank you for listening. It has been a hell of a year. We're coming down the final stretch here. Sir, if you want to support us, check us out, americanreddevils.store. Grab some merch, patreon.com/americanreddevils, americanreddevils.com for all your fan blog content. Sir, give us our top 10 downloads the last 7 days.
Number 1, how you doing? Los Angeles, California, Dublin, Ireland, Chicago, Illinois, Melbourne, Australia, New York, San Diego, California, Houston, Texas, Brooklyn, New York, Oslo, Norway, and last but not least, Portland, Oregon. Appreciate all the American Devils listening week in, week out. Excuse me. Always darkest for the dawn. Always darkest for it gets pitch black. We're going to have the preview of the big game coming up in a couple of days. Can't wait. Can't believe we went so hard out on the South Coast. Sir Jim breathing down our Ruben Amorim's neck. Oh, my God. I do not want to be in that
And the
boardroom.
Scousers won the title today.
What a day. Yeah.
But remember, 13 Premier League titles to their 2.
There you go.
13
you'll
Premier
never
League.
sing
Like,
that.
by the way, the Scouts fans already texted me. I've already got the
Of course
ammo.
he had.
You only won 2.
Yeah.
You only won 2. You've only won 2. We won 13. You're no good. Don't worry about it. We'll see you on the other side. 20 times Man United. Everybody have a great week.